Good evening, friends, and you are watching the Bible review program here in the Seed of God Ministry. Again, this is me, Christopher Nino Arca. So before we start, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget that notification bell so that you can be notified in real time when we upload new videos. And if you like what you see, if you like what we do here, please support the City of God Ministry. Your support and donations can truly help our preaching ministry. Doing expository preaching all around the metro costs money. Expenses go to transportation, payment for the honorarium for priests and choir, also for the space. The ministry won't last long without your support. So please do give to support the City of God Ministry. Details on where you could send your donations can be found down the description box of this video. Okay, so moving on to our review. First off, shout out to Haley of Lifeway. This is a very beautiful Bible. This NASB 2020 from the Holman Handcrafted collection was sent to me by Holman Publishers for free in exchange for an honest review. This will be the first time that I will be reviewing the NASB translation, so we will be doing a side-by-side with the Biblical Hebrew and Greek later on. For now, we will be comparing external construction with the CSB large print thin line, which I also have, which was also sent to me by Holman last 4th of July last year. The box of the Holman Handcrafted NASB has a different color compared to the CSB. Let me show that with you. This one is the CSB Holman Handcrafted large print thin line. If you could compare the color, this is dark blue, this is dark green. Here with the CSB, alright, you will find a gold tag right at the corner. CSB. Compared to this one with the NAS, we only have the NASB. Moving along, here are the details. Side of the box. NASB, Holman Handcrafted, large print thin line designed to column format, topical subject headings, black goatskin leather, Holman, and some of the details, specifications are still here. So if you'd like to read along, you could pause this video. And here is the ISBN number with no retail, but I guess you would be able to see that on the website. Now let us take a look at this Bible. The first thing that will catch your attention is how shiny this black goatskin leather. If you compare this NAS large print thin line with that of the CSB, you will notice that the goatskin leather here is shinier and floppier compared to the CSB. The spine is also different. Here with the NASB, we have three raised hubs for the NAS. Compared to the CSB, there are only tooled lines here. And yes, they have similar dimensions and semi-yap. In width, 6.5 inches. In length, 9 3/4 of an inch. Thickness, 3/4 of an inch. The smell of the leather is really nice. This has a Smith sewn binding. If you take a look, this is you'd wait. Let's wait for the focus. Compared to, from my point of view here, you would see the signature. So definitely, this is a Smith sewn binding. We have 3 ribbon markers, which unfortunately is not equal in length. a beautifully done gold gilt edges, very shiny, which also has what? The salmon color under gold, compared to the CSB, which is red under gold. This Bible comes with this guarantee card. This Bible has a very thin cover, which actually makes this specific Bible floppier. This is an edge-line construction, as you can see. Edge-line construction. And might I say, this is really beautifully done. Very pretty, very beautiful to the eyes, and it feels good in the hand. This has an attractive gold line on the edges. Let me show that to you. Gold line on the edges. And this says goatskin leather cover. Let me open the Bible. So here we have the presentation page. We have the title page. And here we have the copyright page. Let me show this to you. So this is in the 2020 text edition. There are other options here. What I have here with me is the black premium goatskin, and this one is printed in China. Okay, and this Bible is designed and typeset by 2K Denmark. And here we move on with the table of contents. As you can see, since this is still new, I only tried opening this to do the review first. Alright, so to anyone who are new to this translation, so the foreword and the preface must be read so that you would be able to understand the translation. Let me share with you some info here from the preface that is worth sharing. Alright, so the Old Testament here is primarily from the Hebrew text. The Hebrew text meaning the Hebraica here. Where available, Biblia Hebraica Quinta have been employed together with the LXX, which means Septuagint, the Dead Sea Scrolls, ancient versions, and the most recent scholarships from lexicography. So it's heavily from Biblia Hebraica. And while the Greek text is from the critical text, which here they use the Nestle Aland. Okay, so what it says here actually is that the NASB Old Testament is heavily relies on the Hebrew, and not like our Catholic Bibles that source primarily from the Septuagint. We only use the Hebrew at some point. Here we need to bear this in mind as we do our side-by-side later on with the Hebrew and the Greek text. Okay, so moving on. So as we open to the Old Testament, we would see there is that flower icon. It seems to me that the later publications of Holman has this icon to distinguish their later works. I don't know. Kindly correct me if I'm wrong. Alright, so as I open this Bible here in Book of Numbers, this is a very, let me say, this is a very attractive, clean, white paper. Very nice in layout. We have a 2-column format. It is in paragraph form, no references whatsoever. We only have what? We only have translator notes at the bottom in some of the pages. And as you can see, there are beautiful red accents all around. Like what? Page numbers, page covers, chapter numbers. The verse numbers are in red, so you would be able to distinguish the verses. And also at the bottom, the footnotes are in red. The font size here is advertised as 10.5 points. Well, I can't argue with that. Honestly, it is comfortable to read. And as you can see, right, like here in the book of Numbers, there are no book introductions. All books starts all books start fresh on its own page. And as you read through this translation, you will notice some words in italics. Let me show you an example, like this one, was able. And what are these italics? Meaning those are supplied words to render the flow of the statement, understandable. Supplied words are not found in the original language. You have to understand that this translation is understood at being one of the best in using a strictly formal equivalence translation, meaning it is a literal word-for-word translation. This is perfect for those who are seriously studying the words on how they are meant to be understood from the original Hebrew and Greek. So we will be testing that in a short while. And here in the book of Psalms, this is a perfect example on how the poetic style is done here in the NAS Holman Handcrafted. It is perfectly done. Beautiful. You could see there is minimal ghosting, and also they are perfectly line matched. And as we move on to the New Testament, for those who would like to know, here in the Holman Handcrafted, the NAS, the words of Christ are in black. And whenever they reference the Old Testament, they print it in, let me focus that for you, they print it in capital letters. And as we move on to the last page of the book of Revelation, right there we have the where to turn pages. We have the table of weights and measures. We have the harmony of the Gospels, meaning what? Introductory statements, the birth and youth of John the Baptist. Here in the harmony of the Gospels, meaning they compared all of the four Gospels based on the points provided here. Right after, we have a one blank page, 1, 2, and then we have how many maps here? We have 8 Holman maps, the best maps, Bible maps there is, printed on thick cardstock, and there. Now, we will be randomly choose verses from this NAS to compare with the original languages. First off, we will start with Numbers, Book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 24 to 26. Let me read to you here from the NAS. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord cause his face to shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his face to you and give you peace. So they shall invoke my name on the sons of Israel, and then I will bless them. Now let me compare what is read from the Hebrew. Okay, here, verse 24. The Lord bless you and protect you. Verse 25. The Lord deal kindly and graciously with you. Verse 26. The Lord bestow his favor upon you and grant you peace. Now here in the Greek, let's take a look. This is verse 24. Let me read that. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. 25. The Lord makes his face to shine upon thee and have mercy upon thee. 26. the Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. So here in number 6 of the NAS, this is slightly different from the Hebrew, but it flows similarly with the Greek text in the Septuagint. So 1 point for the Greek text. Let's move on to another verse that I chose. Here, Deuteronomy 6 verses 4 to 9. I think you know this as the Shema. So here, Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. These words which I am commanding you today shall be on your heart, and you shall repeat them diligently to your sons, and speak them when you sit in your house, when you walk on the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. You shall also tie them as a sign to your hand, and they shall be as frontlets on your forehead. You shall also write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Okay, so let's take a look now in Deuteronomy 6 verses 4 to 9 here in the Hebrew. Verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. Verse 5. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. Verse 5. Okay, verse 6. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Verse 7. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you're away, when you lie down and when you get up. Verse 8. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. And 9. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Again, we're back here in the NAS. So basically, again, like what I said earlier, this is the Shema prayer. Although, for me, although the NAS almost agree with both the Hebrew and the Septuagint, I think these verses here in the NAS lean closer somewhat to the LXX, to the Septuagint. Now, I chose Joshua 24 verse 15, where it says here, this is verse 15, but if it is disagreeable in your sight to serve the Lord, choose for yourselves today whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served, which were beyond the Euphrates River. Euphrates, this is a what do you say that? This word in italics is a supplied word. Or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Now let's take a look here, verse 15, here in the Hebrew. Verse 15. Or if you loathe to serve the Lord, choose this day which ones you're going to serve. The gods that your forefathers served beyond the Euphrates, or those of the Amorites in whose land you are settled. but I and my household will serve the Lord. And now here in the Greek Septuagint, this is Joshua 24, verse 15, where it says here, verse 15, but if it seem not good to you to serve the Lord, choose to yourselves this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods of your fathers that were on the other side of the river, or the gods of the Amorites, among whom ye dwell upon their land. But I and my house will serve the Lord. For he is holy. For he is holy. Well, as you can see, definitely, obviously, the NAS agrees or is consistent with the Hebrew. Now we have 2 points out of 3 that the NAS agrees with the Hebrew text.